together a little burst here. Toney's hand speed coming back, and he's landing with sharp impact again, as was the case in rounds 2 and 3.
Rock is fighting a smart fight, but he still hasn't shown me the speed that I would have thought if he'd have got punches out with a little bit more speed and intensity.
He lands a series of right hands there, crashing a couple of them off the top of Toney's skull. Toney gets to show you again how well it takes a punch, but Rock is able to move Toney with the right hands. Now Toney lands another right hand, and there you see the absence of balance, which may hurt Toney on the scorecards.
Yeah, so that's because of that extra weight and as well as age. It was just too much for him. You notice he very seldom throws a right hand and comes back with a left hook, meaning Toney. Because after he throws a right hand, his balance is just too far off.
Stop right there, stop right there, stop right there.
Emmanuel, you often talk about how judges will score the blood, score the cut, score the damage they see in a fight. Will they score the bodies?
I don't think so.
Think it's about the leather, right?
I think it's about the leather in this case, yeah.
As each round goes by, there's less and less footwork, more and more grappling on the inside. Does that favor the bigger, stronger Hasim Rahman, or does it favor the quicker, more technically crafty James Toney?
It should favor Rahman, but in this case, I just they go along with James. But James is used to this type, and as I told you, his balance is very bad, and by fighting in this close right here, you don't have to worry about his balance. And he's very, very cagey inside with short punches.
But I think Rahman has landed with more power in this round than in the 2 or 3 preceding rounds, although Toney gets him with a sharp comeback right hand there. Good counter uppercut by James Toney.
Rahman lands some good punches, but I think the more cleaner blows still are landed by Toney. Just he don't have the power to hurt Rahman.
Toney landed a flush left hook. Rahman kept on coming. Crowd is starting to chant Toney, Toney, Toney. Rahman may be willing to lose a round to make Toney work for a full last minute of the round.
He didn't work that round.
And now Rahman raises both gloves. If body language can win the fight, Rock is making the effort to do that.
He feels very comfortable with the way that the fight is moving.
Okay? The guy's dead tired. Only time you get a chance, he rests when you lay inside, okay? Okay? Now use your left jab, and I want you to listen. Don't finish your punches with the right hand. The only time you give him a shot. Every time you throw your right, you got to come back with your left hook, okay? Get on the other side with a double shot.
All right? Put that overhand right and come back with the hook for me, okay, son? All right?
He's hard, man.
Deep breath. Second right. It's the heavyweight championship.
Right here, you see James Toney throw his right hand, miss it, lost his balance, and therefore it looked maybe to some of the inexperienced people that he'd been hit by a hard right hand and knocked across the ring, but it was really just a case of his balance.
A rare occurrence so far in that round. Rahman landed as many power shots as Toney did. Both of them landing 20, 21 power shots in the round.
Come on, don't use his elbow.
Rahman should have the advantage boxing Toney in the center of the ring like this, but both fighters are now tired as they get to the 9th of the scheduled 12. There's a terrific straight right hand by Toney. Bell Torrance keeps telling Rahman, don't finish with the right hand, come back with the left hook. He's trying to get Rock to stop that counter right hand of Toney's.
That's right, and the same thing now here Fredo Roach was telling James that he'd come back with a left hook.
Since he's been a heavyweight, Toney has tended to dominate the late rounds of his fights.
Don't use elbow. Come on, don't use elbow. Come on,
but Toney's in hibernation a little bit here now as he waits for another opportunity, and Rock continues to tap, tap, tap.
Blood coming out of the mouth of Rahman.
Rahman is playing right into James Toney's hands right now. By staying in and fighting, letting James rest on the ropes, take his time, and even though Rock with his punch, it is more like Ali called a washwoman type. Nothing that effective. He just throwing punches, but nothing is really landing. He's wearing himself out. And James going to land those clean punches is going to catch the attention of the fans and the judges.
Remember, Del Torrance wants Rahman to try to bring Toney back to the center of the ring so that James doesn't get to lean against the ropes like this. Good right hand inside by Rahman. Toney countered with a right of his own. They're fighting directly above us, and they're fighting as though in a phone booth. Toney looks down as if he wants to talk to me about it. James Toney, totally aware of everything around the ring. Good combination by Rahman, who didn't let Toney answer that time. Right hand over the top by Rahman, right hand over the top by Toney. Well, you said Rahman was playing into Toney's hands, Emmanuel, but at the end of the day, Rock scored more on the ropes.
He finished up with a good round. I thought that Toney would explode at the end of the round, but he didn't. It's a good round for Rahman.
Give me some guard for that.
Okay.
Tell me to some more guard.
All right, lock. Okay, now listen. When you lay inside, he rests, and he wants to steal a puncher. Now you got to keep your distance, okay? And don't finish your puncher with your right hand, okay? Finish your right hand. Now give me some double and triple shot. Now I want you to dig him to the outside and come right straight up the center, okay? Dig him to the outside, come right in the center. And when you back, go back to the jab, okay? Good jab, that's all I want, okay?
Don't lay inside.
Yeah, don't lay inside. Just go back to the
Make it
jab.
harder than it has to be.
And when
Come on, let's go to
up,
work. Pick up the pace.
When you finish,
James Toney threw only 42 punches by CompuBox count in the 9th round. That's his low output of the fight. Hasim Rahman was again very active. He threw 79 punches. We're into the last 3 rounds of a pretty good fight. Seems like a close fight. Harold, how do you have it so far?
Okay, Jim, 87, 84, 6 rounds to 3, Hasim Rahman. Jim, he's just outworking him, landing the cleaner shots. Jim, I got a comment. When James Toney goes, he loses balance, goes flying across the ring, the judges can see that it's not a clean blow that's knocking him across the ring and making him lose his balance. I mean, you can't fool a judge by losing your balance, that's for darn sure. But that cut is looking nastier, and remember, if they do stop the fight, we go to the scorecards. That's the Rahman cut.
I have it 5-3-1 for Rahman.
Bottom line is if Harold Letterman's right, and if there are no knockdowns, Toney would have to win the last 3 rounds to pull out a draw. Rahman clearly tiring, still able to pump the jab, although in the last round he dropped to 29, but still, if the mandate was to throw 30 jabs around, generally speaking, Rahman has fulfilled that. And he jabs again to the body as he comes inside.
Come on. Come on, let's go.
It's interesting. After the first right hand that Rahman landed on Toney, I think, in the first round, I haven't saw Rahman land too much of a really devastating, clean punch since then. He's winning the fight, but James Toney's defense is still amazing. The most punch he gets hit with is the jab. And outside from the jab, he's getting away from most of those power shots.
Well, Hasim Rahman told us yesterday, he said, I have to jab. I have to focus on the jab. I have to build every round behind it. If he wins the fight, he will have won it with his jab.
But on about the same token, James has landed probably about 15 or 20 clean, impressive blows during the course of the fight.
The cut above Rahman's left eye is in a very bad position. They've done a good job in his corner. It has not compromised him so far. There's a straight left hand into the face of Hasim Rahman. And you can see how easily he walks through James Toney's punching power at this point. But Toney can change the pace and suddenly pull out the 95-mile-an-hour fastball to shock you. Rahman pushing, hunting and pecking, trying to find a new way to hit Toney to the body. Pretty close round 10. As usual, Rock has been busier.
Rock is pushing the fight and actually doing what he's supposed to do. But if James just doesn't have the stamina to punch, but every time that James wants to punch, he pretty much lays his blows.
But Rahman finishes the round with a good left hook. And we'll go to the last 2 rounds of the fight, with the judges holding the hammer for the moment.
Punch on the right side. But you get on the left side and mix those shots up.
That's
Okay?
good. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay? Okay? Give me a good round shot. Okay?
Rock, you
Now,
looking
if you go back to your jab,
306 jabs in 10 rounds for Hasim Rahman. Manny, I said if he wins the fight, he wins it with the jab.
Yes, the jab has been the most effective punch for him.
How many great heavyweight champions over the years have built their dominance on the jab? Joe Louis, great jabber.
Let's go. Get out.
Larry Holmes, Muhammad Ali, Sonny Liston, tremendous jab. Lennox Lewis, dominant when he threw 30 jabs per round.
Yep.
I wonder if Toney feels a sense of urgency now, whether he has been able to calculate what's happening here. He is the challenger for this title. Does he have to do more to take the title?
Rahman's never had a knockout past the 10th round. James Toney's done it twice. But to ask Toney to knock out a much larger, better conditioned heavyweight under these circumstances is asking a bunch.
It's going to be pretty difficult in this case here.
Hard right hand by Toney. His best punch in 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah, and they're trying to, but James doesn't get hit with right hands, but he just doesn't have that power.
No, you don't have to guess, Emmanuel. It's a fact, because we have seen Rahman go down from punches like that from natural heavyweights, let's say.
Oleg Maskaev knocked him all the way out of the ring in Atlantic City. And of course, Lennox Lewis
And David
knocked him
Tua.
nearly cold with a right hand in Las Vegas, and David Tua as well. Corey Sanders knocked Rahman down. That was a wild slugfest that Rahman came back to win.
Yep, very determined.
Stop right there. Stop right there.
Very determined performance by Rahman.
But those were big heavyweight punches.
Elbow, come.
Not
Come on,
the
get
kind
up,
of puncher that James Toney is.
Stop.
More of a sharp, technical puncher. Right hand to the body by Toney. Crowd gets restless. They seem to want more action, not recognizing that the two guys have fought at a fast pace for nearly 11 rounds and are tired.
Both are tired, especially James.
Rahman with a little quick right hand inside, and he got away as Toney tried to counter. Now Toney with that big right hand over the top, trying to catch Rahman on the
There
cut.
you go again. He rolling Rahman's right hand and countering back with his right hand.
But even if Toney wins the round, he would seem to be up against it on the scorecards because Rahman has generally been able to outwork him through the fight.
And that's what it's coming down to. It's punch for punch. James is a more active puncher, but he just doesn't have the stamina to have a good output. His output is just too low.
Both fighters momentarily off balance there. Toney wanted a chance to go after Rahman, didn't get it. We got 3 minutes to go to determine who this heavyweight belt will belong to.